Hello, and this is a video for The Flash, episode 618. In the scenes, the first couple scenes you see is stunt work getting work done. It's The Flash's stunt guy, Cody Laudan, on some wires there, and in the next scene you're going to see him, he is going to get tossed against a vehicle, and there he goes. So that's one of the stunts they will do. Now here you of course see the big scoop everybody was talking about the other day, Godspeed on set, with Grant Gustin there beside him. They're getting the instructions on what to do for the scene. For most of it, it looks like Godspeed is staring a hole through me, but just conveniently happened to be in that location and he was staring that way. Excuse me. This is a good angle where you actually get to see for once how limited of a space I have to work in sometimes, because you can see I literally had to aim between these two crew members that were standing there. You'll see in a moment that that space will get even shorter, and so yeah, sometimes you don't have a choice in the matter. You have to move a little while the scene is going on, and even once you think you got a spot, you have to move to the other side. So this is a cool little moment where you get to actually see how challenging what I do can be sometimes. You really think you're in the right spot, and 1 second later you have to move and find a new spot. So here's another take of Godspeed looking down at Barry on the ground. This time you get to see him actually run, and he's gonna run right at me, and yeah, that was that. So after that, they got rid of Godspeed and brought in Hartley Rathaway, who we just saw in this last week's episode. The Pied Piper is back. In this scene, you see them just standing there, and they're gonna be looking up in the air, and the reason they're looking up in the air is earlier they did a stunt where Godspeed falls down and crashes into the top of a car, and this is them doing that where they are essentially pulling him down to go into the car. You'll see them turn around and they're going to look at this car that's right in front of them there, and in a scene later they would move up towards the car like they're doing now, and Godspeed would be laying on the car. The car will be crumpled and you'll see him there. So here's some still photos from the set. When they're doing a big scene where they're shooting from high up, they have this big clapperboard, and that's what that was. This is a van they used in the show, and Barney Sands, the name on there is actually a callback to a character in the comics who was a neighbor of Barry Allen as a kid. That was an interesting one. This map of Central City is really funny because it doesn't really have any street names, and everything's just a generic title. They just have things like hotel. Here's a still photo of Hartley Rathaway with his little gauntlets on, staring up in the air. There's Grant Gustin on set. I didn't actually see nearly as much of him as I usually do on set. It was more Godspeed and Hartley I was seeing. There's Hartley again, prepping for work. And here's an actual scene where you see all three of them. You can see Godspeed's arm raising up out of that car. There's Godspeed climbing off of the car. This is after the take, so I don't know if that's part of the scene. I think that's just him getting up off the car. Here's a scene they did later where he is standing there holding a pedestrian, and people are running around in a panic. Well, he's holding this person. Now, I know Grant was in the scene. There's a close-up of Godspeed from earlier in the day. I know Grant, as Barry Allen, as the Flash, was in the scene with Godspeed where you saw him holding the person and where he's standing there with his car, but you don't see him in my frame. And that's a wrap on this video. I'll hopefully see you around for the next one, whenever that is. Thank you.